we have so many questions for you. So
Okay.
Might be a little mini series.
Yeah.
And because I wanted to know about, like, I wanted you to touch on 9mm, and I wanted you, and then
Okay.
and there's so many songs that you have that it like touches urban culture and spirituality at the same time, you know?
Yeah. You know
That's
me, I like
important,
to,
that bridge.
yeah. I like to keep my music super chill, but also like put the truth out there. And then also like make sure there's some empowerment involved as well. So with 9mm, which is reflective of the times, which is weird, but it's not weird, it's actually repetitive. But like 9mm has a controversial thing because when I released it, it was during the time where Virginia was reevaluating the gun laws because of that shooting that happened in Virginia Beach. And so they wanted to restrict the gun laws, which is completely understandable. But I see how that poses a direct threat to the Black community because this is just the direct meaning of the song. It like literally like when they changed the laws or they opposed bills where it was saying that you can't have military style weapons or like any automatics will be illegal to have. But if you already have them in your possession, that makes you a criminal overnight, just with the law change. So if you know, they could take advantage of that because they know who has those kind of guns. You know what I mean? They could target a certain group and arrest them, have them arrested for life. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of tricky when they're making law changes. And you know, when they make law changes as a Black community, we have to pay attention to that. And then also, of course, like you want to protect our rights to bear arms, so you don't want them to go too far because if there it was one day, if there's a need of an uprising or a revolution, what do we have to protect or defend ourselves with if they strict those take away things we use to protect ourselves or to hunt? You know what I'm saying? So 9mm is that's like the direct message, and then like the lyrics per se is 9mm for our 99 problems. That's just like sometimes we gotta solve our problems in a way that we need to when we need to. So that's what that
feels with.
yeah, you know, like it's kind of like, ooh, for every problem you got to pull out the gun for. Sometimes, you know, it results to that. But then it's also the part where expressing through art pain, it never goes away. With blood we paint. So that talks about just violence in general, and how traumatizing it can be, and how we use all types of art form to express ourselves and to get that pain, like to release that pain. We use art to do that. So that's a shout out to the art community, and usually, and also like people that do art in any type of performance art, they still need to arm themselves when it come down to it. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you live in a certain community, it's just like you got to protect yourself. And then they say gangsters don't dance, but they really do. So I'm tiptoeing to my hood nigga blues. That's just self-explanatory. It just means like they say gangsters don't dance, but if you know the culture, we all dancing, we all having a good time despite what we're going through. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna be at the cookout having a blast. So, and we tiptoeing through our hood nigga blues, like even though we're going through something, we gonna step our way out of it. So yeah, that's what 9mm is about.
You feel like that has anything to do with Virginia as a culture in general, or the
Yeah,
South as a culture in general?
yeah, because I can see how people can view that song as some type of self-entitlement, because not everybody can just whip out a gun and just walk the streets. And we're comfortable, like, it's never comfortable for anyone to see a Black person with a tool on them. Usually you'll see like a white person and they'll have their gun on their hip, and you know they're not an officer, they just have it on them, and nobody's gonna question them, because you already know, okay, if they moving like that, they got a license for that gun, you know what I'm saying? But if a Black
That's what
person,
we're thinking.
yeah, if a Black
Wow.
person is to confidently have their gun on their hip and they license, you're not going to be viewed the same. So there is
Yeah.
a certain privilege to that, you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes, like even like my older brother, he carry his with him everywhere he go, and he does it with confidence, with his head held high, and it's not to showboat. It's just like, if I need to protect myself, I will, type of thing, and I have a license to carry this, and I have a right to carry this. But it's still dangerous for him to have it, even though it's literally his right to have it.
Mm.
He could get taken down for that, you know what I mean? But if
Yeah.
like, even like with the protest, like when Richmond, when they was protesting, it wasn't nothing but white people out there with their big guns just chilling, like we protesting with our guns on us, like military weaponized type stuff. And it's just interesting. So it has this underlying layer.
Yeah. Wow.
Hope that I
Oh
answered
my
that question.
gosh. And what made you want to express this issue? You know, like how did this come to you? Did you just hear
I
it?
didn't.
Or?
It wasn't. It really wasn't like I put a lot of thought into it. I was listening to the beat, and I had this beat for like 2 years and some change. And I probably was doing homework or something. I was scrolling through Instagram, listening to the beat, and the lyrics just came to me. So this wasn't like, oh, I have a message. It just happened.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and like the 9mm for our 99 problems was just like a freestyle. So the lyrics just came to me. I wrote that song in less than an hour. So it was one of my most
Wow.
fluent songs, and my most popular song too.
Whoa. And Sakani already asked you how you got into music, and you know, do you always hear the lyrics like that? Like just all the kind of like beginner questions of like how you start off making a song, how you start getting into music, um, and what made you have the confidence to go so hard in it too, you know?
Um, that last question, I don't really know how to answer that, because I build confidence through my music. So the music helps me be more confident. So there's certain things that I'll say in music that I wasn't comfortable saying just having a regular conversation. But because I had made music about it, I gotta stand behind my lyrics and live what I preach. So it's easier to do that when you have something that's published. It's like written, it's like blueprint. It's like my Bible, Marysa's Bible. Like I gotta stand behind everything that I say. So as far as confidence, it's a journey. Confidence is a journey for me. Like I might be confident today and not tomorrow. So, you know, and then as far as the process of music, it's different per song. So if there's a beat, I might instantly have the words. So like with Summon Left Eye, um, I don't want to get too deep with that, but I really felt like that particular song came straight from the spirit. And that's why I named it Summon Left Eye, because I felt like I was tapping into Left Eye spirit, and I knew like it was a complete freestyle, and that like the first first two verses, I knew that wasn't me. And I knew that these are the type of lyrics that Left Eye would say if she was here today. So for that particular song, it was very like almost like I was in a spiritual trance, and I was high. I ain't gonna hold you. So I was just kind of freestyling the lyrics spilled out. And then like songs like Yamaya and Self Love, those were very intentional, and those songs came out from just going through the absolute most in Los Angeles. So I was going through
Talk about that a little bit for all the aspiring artists that are trying to get to Los Angeles. Like,
yeah, man, just don't have no high expectations.
I ain't an artist.
But that's what got you out there.
I'm not trying to disencourage nobody, but just don't have any high expectations moving out there, because you're in for like a rude awakening.
I think it's a good learning process.
Can you talk about?
Yeah, it is.
I don't know
what did you think about him? Oh, sorry, Connie. We're on the same like. Go on, Connie. My bad.
No. I was just gonna say, like, me personally, like, my family is here, and I've had to come and then leave and then come back. So
yeah,
it's one of those places where it, like, sometimes the first try is not even the first, second, or third. Like, I'm probably gonna have to like move to get some stability and then come back, because this is a place of the rich and the wealthy and the people that have made it. So
yeah, and I do acknowledge that, because I have friends that are out there still, and they pushing their way, and the longer they stay, the more results they end up getting, and it's working out for them. So I feel like had I stayed, I'd probably be booming right now, or at least creating some type of buzz by now. But I had no fight left in me, bro. I had to come back home. It was a struggle.
Yeah.
And then like I didn't know what I know now, you know what I'm saying, as far as like preparation. And so like during my time in Los Angeles, I was dealing with depression because I was there by myself. Like this is after actually I don't know where Ashe went, because she was here.
I was still in Virginia.
You was in Virginia? Oh yeah, you just came to visit and you went back to VA.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So actually I had people popping in and out that kept my spirits high, and then once I was like alone, I was alone and it was hard. And then the finances was even harder, and I just wasn't prepared for that. And even when I had a good job, it was just one thing after another type of thing. And there's certain things I would have done differently, but that just happens with maturity. But at the end of the day, I don't regret a thing, because I made the connections that I needed to make, and I have strong networking relationships in Los Angeles that I can still count on till this day. So for anyone that's trying to go there, do your thing, and just know, like, when people say be prepared when you go there, be prepared. But in my opinion, I don't know, maybe somebody needs to really explain how to be prepared, because I'm sure Ashe told me to be prepared too, and I thought I was, and I wasn't. Because I can't, like, I started with a big savings and still got lost. You know what I mean? So, I don't know.
Were you prepared emotionally? Like when you saw Skid Row and stuff like that?
Nah, I definitely wasn't.
I don't know.
Can you talk about
LA? Be prepared for LA. I've had family here, been here my whole life, and there's still times where I'm just like, bruh.
Yeah, I don't think you could ever get used to it. And like, especially coming from VA, like, we have our homeless people, we have the hood and everything, but it's different because I just feel like we have more resources for like the homeless and things of that nature. I just feel like they have more options to choose from. Whether like out there is just, I honestly couldn't believe what I was seeing on all aspects.
It's undescribable.
Yeah,
it's undescribable.
Yeah. But even now, like, you see it, you can hear it in my throat, like, then just feel pain and sorrow for people that have to go through some of the realest things, man.
For some people, that's life. Like, they don't know any other way out. And that's the crazy thing to me.
Yeah, and I don't feel like they have enough opportunities the way we do in Virginia, because we literally have, like, I feel like if you from the hood and you say you can't get out, that's a lie in VA. But like just visiting Inglewood, I can see how people say, like, bro, like the trap is really the trap. You can't get out, even if LA is like right there.
It's right there. Hollywood's right there.
Yeah,
And you
I
see
can't
how they have people
describe it.
living.
Yeah, I see what they mean. Like, I can't describe it, but you just can't. I just can't describe it. It's not as easy as it is here. Like, if you want help, you can get help here. In LA, I feel like if you don't have family, you're not gonna get the help. And even if you try all of these resources, it's just too many people that live there that need the help. So, and then you got people that's not even from LA that need help that live there. So it's a lot. And yeah, man, those particular songs, Yamaya and Self Love, um, that happened from just pure pain and suffering while I was in LA, like literally being hungry on an empty stomach writing those songs. And literally the only thing that was fulfilling me was yoga and listening to like Willow Smith at the time. I was heavy in her music during that time and doing yoga. So yeah.
Can you talk
Can
about
you talk about
the artist
oh,
that?
go ahead, Tommy.
Ooh, I'll let Shay go.
No, it's okay. Oh snap. My question was, could you explain Yemaya? I don't know if you already did. Like people who just have no idea
Okay.
what that means or
Yeah.
anything. Just from a
So
blank slate.
yeah, I'm gonna just give, all right, disclaimer, because I don't want anyone that's really deep into Yamaya to be like, she's totally wrong, she's false, that's not what Yamaya is about, yada yada yada. I'm gonna tell you what Yamaya means for me, because
Mm-hmm.
she is my mother, and basically she's like the goddess of the ocean. And um the origins of Yamaya come from Orisha, and Yamaya is just one of the goddesses of the ocean, and she's like a protector and a nurturer. And I resonate with Yamaya. I feel like I'm just a child of Yamaya. And like even with this album, I named it Yamaya because I wanted every single song was so intentional, as far as I wanted to feel as powerful as the ocean. I wanted the emotions to like really move people like waves, just just like really heavy but like flowy too. Like it's a lot, but it feels good. And
Yeah.
that was my whole intention with naming the album Yamaya. So Yamaya is just like the goddess of the ocean. She comes to protect you and nurture you. So that's like a little short version. And then um this art piece reminds me of Yamaya, but it also just reminds me of Black women in general, because she's like, she doesn't even, like, her arms are like cut off, and even in her face expression, it's not, I wouldn't say it's struggle, but it's like you can tell, like, even like the orange, you can interpret that as war paint. You can look at it as bruises. So whatever she went through, it was a sacrifice. You know what I mean? And so like it's like there's pain there, but she it's almost like, how can I describe it? Mm. It's like she went through a lot to protect her children,
Mm-hmm.
and she's in the ocean, and she's kind of just like there. I can't describe it. It's hard to describe, but it reminds me of Yamaya, but it also reminds me of Black women in general, because you got to think about how we've been treated too. Um, we're literally like the bottom of the bottom of the bottom. as far
Why do
as,
you think that is?
I literally don't know. I don't know because I worship Black women. So I don't know. I have no clue.
Yeah, I feel
It doesn't
like
make
we're
sense.
on top, but then, like you said, like it's so weird. It's just so weird. Like,
Yeah, because
I don't
you obviously see this is a goddess, but like looking at her, it looked like she just got dumped with no, like, you know what I mean? Like she was um used up, completely used up.
We get used.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what she
Like
looks
we're
like.
the
She
old,
looks
like
like
the
the
nurturer,
old abuse.
the caregiver.
Yeah. The nurturer, like, you know, you gotta
Oh,
think about even moms in general, like what happens to their bodies when they're just feeding their children. Like, yeah.
yeah.
We're trying to
Yeah.
give the community, to our
Yeah.
men, to our children, and
Yeah.
it's maybe like
Yeah. It's a lot of
the
energy out.
I don't know. Maybe the appreciation isn't always coming back, but
Yeah.
like we
That's
uplift
It's
each other.
legit. Yes.
I don't know. Like
yeah.
the women I know we uplift each other. So
Yeah. So I don't want to throw this. I don't want to throw no one off with what I'm about to say because I don't want it to take away from what everyone is fighting for as far as seeking justice for George Floyd. But
For who?
George Floyd.
you're
So,
Can you
Caribbean.
explain that to our international listeners?
okay, I'm gonna try my
Okay.
best
Okay.
because I refuse to watch that video because I've seen
Yeah.
too much. But basically, George Floyd was a victim of police brutality, and he lost his life in the process. And apparently, there is something going on with them trying to figure out why he was so suspect and something to deal with fake money or whatever. But it took 4 cops to take him down. Just a lot of unnecessary force, and it cost his life. And basically, the officer killed him by kneeling on the back of his neck, I guess. And he was
I
saying that
did hear. Yeah.
he lost his life. So I, you know, maybe someone can explain that better because I didn't watch the video. I couldn't. And so
Okay. Yeah.
now there's protests all over the country right now. Even Norfolk right now, they protesting. They probably done because it's late. But maybe an hour ago some change, even Norfolk, Virginia, they're protesting. Florida, they're all over the country. There's protests for George Floyd. Now, what I'm about to say is, see, the topic of Black women. I've never, maybe I'm wrong, but I've never. I'm waiting for people to be outraged for Black women. However, I'm not trying to take away from George Floyd at all because I'm angry about. I'm really angry.
Yeah, I mean there's
really
Sandra
angry.
Brand. There's
Yeah.
a recent one. I don't remember her name. She was an EMT.
Yeah. But
And
I want
not this
I
like
want,
the amount of attention it gets isn't the same. It's kind of like usually what happens. It seems like a Black man will be in that situation, and then right afterwards, like the same thing will happen to a Black woman.
yeah.
And I don't like. I'm not saying that like.
I don't want to compare it.
Yeah.
I just noticed that this is just an outcry that I want our people to fight for Black women. I want them to fight for us more. But yeah, that's why this painting does so much to me because I'm just like, I can tell like she's given so much and a lot was taken from her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even now, like us depending on Yamaya because we got some mental illnesses going on that we need her so bad, but we need to make sure that we're appreciating her and constantly giving her offerings and things of that nature. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the significance of this little flowers here. You know?
Yeah.
Wow. And is tomorrow French Mother's Day? Tomorrow? Like tomorrow or Sunday? Yeah, that just kind of like notified me when you said that. Like, oh, Mother's Day is coming up over here.
That's
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it must be. Confirmation, yes.
And we recently had Mother's Day here a few weeks ago in the States.
Yeah.
Right.
And like you
So it's
see
in
like
that.
the celebration of mothers and Black mothers, like they're definitely beloved. So
Yeah.
but I feel like there is a point where there's a disconnect.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Even like trans community too, there's not much justice for them at all.
And I don't even know if this like happened to you, but you know that part in your spiritual journey where you get very mad, like very upset, just at all the like brainwashing, the lies, the yeah, just basically all the lies that you've been told. And when you start discovering more truth about yourself and everything like that.
Okay.
I guess maybe for somebody who I don't necessarily feel like it's healthy to move out of that space because I feel like it's a necessary space to be upset and to be mad.
Yeah.
But yeah, but like,
Um.
what would you tell someone? Maybe somebody who does want to move out of that space, or who doesn't even know what's going on. Like, they're just so mad and they're just going to you for counsel. I guess like
Okay.
when they're in between maybe they're in between Christianity and African spirituality or whatever part there is in their journey, or they watched a documentary and they're upset. What would you tell them, I guess?
Okay, that's a really good question. Um, I can only speak from my experience because I'm still battling that right now, because I want to say so much to my friends that feel betrayed by Christianity. I want to tell them so much, but I don't feel like they would get what I'm saying, and it's like something I have to put in the music to make it easy for them to process. But I really just want them to understand, like, okay, yeah, you've been lied to, but not really. Like, if you're gonna be like, just all right, just give them the hard truth. If you want to be, well, I can't say that because we gotta think about how Christianity was forced down our throats in a certain form, shape, form, and fashion. But you still have to take accountability and listen to your spirit. So when you are learning these things, you should be getting the answers from your spirit, not from what somebody is telling you. But if all you know is what you've been taught, um I can see how you would feel betrayed if you found out something else that didn't align with what you've been taught. Because and that's the issue that Christians are having when they find out, um oh, Jesus wasn't his real name, it was Yahweh, or oh, Jesus was black. There's a lot of things that Christians will debate on within each other, and it causes so much unnecessary conflict, in my opinion. But as far as like advice, I would just tell them to like calm down and just, take it one day at a time. If you feel like you just discovered the truth and you feel like everything you know was a lie, take it one day at a time. Especially if you were like a sold out Christian, because I honestly consider myself to still be a sold out Christian,
A
because I
sold
still
out
believe.
Christian?
Yes, let me explain. Because I started off being like a Jesus freak. Like I'm in school ministering to all my friends, trying to tell them what's good with the Bible and giving them scriptures to, go on with their day or whatever. And because it was so deeply rooted in me to do it, that's who I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's almost like I was brought up into something that I kept, but it's in my spirit to be this way too. It's like, yeah, I was
Mm-hmm.
taught this, but it's also I took joy in doing that. And whenever I needed help and I called on Jesus, that was so necessary for me. It was Jesus that got me out, because that's all I knew. So whoever I was praying to at the time, that whatever name I call Jesus or God as, that God still delivered. So if you pray in Jesus' name and your answers, and your prayers get answered, Jesus is real for you. If you call on Allah when you pray and your prayers get answered, Allah is your God. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
For me, my personal experience is taking what I learned in Christianity and taking what I learned from Ifa and taking what I learned from my friends, like whatever religion they're in, and seeing how God is present with them and learning from them. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's just like you have to be open. Okay. So say if you are transitioning from Christianity to Kemet or Hotep, a lot of the times people discover the things that they were running from in the church, they end up running into the same thing in those communities, in those spaces. So if you were running from judgment, you're going to find out you're going to have judgment in this community as well. So, you know what I'm saying? And like me, I don't really feel accepted in any area, in any religion really. I feel accepted by God, but I don't feel accepted from any religion or any spiritual deity. You know, like a group of people, I don't feel accepted. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that comes from just being alternative too, because it's like, okay, so there's certain things that you still refer to in the Bible, but you're rocking with us. That's weird. Or, you know what I'm
It's
saying? Like,
funny not.
I'm really
That's so interesting to me.
Yeah, I come off really confusing to people, and I think God is like, again, like this ties right back into like the podcast, which is Coexist. That's why I can't wait to see this podcast grow, because you're probably most likely going to be interviewing people that can really give us more insight on different things that they know, knowledge wise, wisdom wise, experience wise. And my experience in spirituality lets me know that God is real, and she exists in many religions. Otherwise there wouldn't be all of these religions.
Yeah, and I think everyone should be like, it should be acceptable for everyone to have their own choice, and for us to have an understanding that everyone's perspective is different, but at the end of the day, we're all connected, you know? I don't know, like, I think for me, it's like having been in a place where, like, when I went to college and having gone to Rutgers, like, seeing so many different ethnicities, religions, creeds, genders, people's sexuality differences. It was just like, but everyone was amazing. So
Exactly.
it's like, it would be nice if like there could be a space like that in our world, because I feel like college,
yeah, it would be nice.
Place. It's like for depending on what community you go into, it can be a safe place. And it's like, how do we make that bigger? Like, how do we?
I think I don't think we have much to worry about. I just want, like, as long as we continue having these conversations, especially because I feel like younger people are more open to the idea of coexisting. You know what I mean? So that's religion, spirituality, gender, and everything else. Yeah. What about you? What are your thoughts on that, Ashe?
Yeah.
You really opened my mind to, because I don't even remember how we got to Coexist.
But the name?
Yeah, I can't even remember. Wow.
Okay, so we were both watching the Erykah Badu and Jill Scott.
Yeah.
And I saw
made me cry.
on the chat comment, someone said coexist. And I was just like, no, I said coexistence. And I was like, yo, Shay, what do you think about coexistence? And,
I feel that.
and like, because we had been searching for a name.
Y'all picked a great name.
And so it's just
Thank you for the confirmation.
no, I think like it's especially like having it come from a place where like these are artists that we both looked up to growing up.
Yeah.
And throughout our lives, I was like, okay, like I can get with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember who posted
I didn't think you were gonna go from the stance of like Hotep and Kemet. I don't know the proper name, but I didn't even think you were gonna go from that perspective. And all I could think of was they should get to a certain point, or not that they should, but I find myself, all I can do is talk about my experience. I find myself to a point where I see it as like, these are tools. So I feel like whether you're Christian or not, the Bible, there's something, some of the verses in there, I'll never forget reading the New Testament and just crying. There's certain things, even, what's my favorite book? It starts with a P, Proverbs. It's just certain things in the Bible that like help you get through your day. You know what I'm saying? And yes, there's colonialism and some really evil stuff going on. Yeah, there's no way I would ever discredit that ever. I take that very, very, very seriously. At the same time, there's no reason, just like you took the word nigger, you want to change it and use alchemy to make it nigger. If you can use alchemy to do that, you can use alchemy for the Bible in any way that you have your intention to use it.
Right.
It's not for somebody else to have their intention on you and use it against you. And I think it could, it took me a while to get there, but
yeah, exactly.
It's so much of a relief when you get there.
Yeah. And I hope a Christian watches this, because I feel like it's safer to use the Bible that way instead of use it in the way they were taught, because you can be controlled by human beings if you only interpret the Bible the way they interpret it. You need to interpret it for yourself and listen to your spirit, because God is within you, and that's the most important thing that everyone needs to know, is that God is within first. So even without the Bible, you do have all the answers, because God is within you. So yeah.
You hit it right on the nail with that one.
Yeah, but it's kind of hard. It's still kind of hard to explain, like, how do you tell someone who's angry, like, how to not be angry, because they're just gonna be angry. But I just need them to be prepared. I just need them to be prepared to be disappointed when they try to look for God in other areas anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like I resonate a lot with Rastafari, but in the Rastafari community, I wouldn't totally be accepted from just like being bi or just being androgynous is how I would put it, because I wouldn't even know. I'm still learning my sexuality, so I'm not. Right. There isn't. I don't know what my sexuality is, and that's just the God honest truth. Like if somebody was to ask me today, "Are you gay or straight?" I would be like, "I actually don't know, because I'm not sexually active anyway, for one." But
you get to just be.
Yeah, I know I'm a sexual being, but I know I'm not moving like that. I'm not thinking like that. I'm just chilling right now. But I know, like, my look and how I carry myself. I wouldn't necessarily.
Tomboys, though?
Yeah, I'm a tomboy, but I know what my interests are. I'm just not sexually active, so that's why I'm not comfortable with saying that I'm a specific sexual preference. I'm not comfortable saying that, because I'm not sexually active, so it doesn't make sense to even identify with anything until I've experienced enough. You know what I mean? But like I
And it's
identify
human
most
too.
with Rastafari, but I know I wouldn't necessarily be accepted because I'm like really androgynous. You know what I mean?
Are there times where you feel like you have like you try to be a part of things, but you need to step away to just listen to your own spirit and the spirit within?
Yeah.
Other people's just thoughts and judgments are confusing.
Yeah, and I learned that at an early age, just being in church, and I'm grateful for that experience. Yeah, I'm gonna just keep it that short.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,